Hi Libra, welcome to your Siren Song reading. Let's see what's going on with you. I started to do your reading as soon as I started to think about it. I got in such a good mood. It was just, yeah, it was awesome. Just like washed over me, so thank you already. So let's see, first line of your first verse, you have temperance. Beautiful. So you come in really balanced and peaceful. All right. Wow, that's awesome. Like Libra, you get called, balance, but temperance is like the balance of balance, the balance. Like balance is the discipline of discipline. That's what, my sage hasn't gone out. Balance is the discipline of discipline, right? Who said that? M. Scott Peck. So temperance is like the discipline of balance. So anyway, like you come in high Libra regard. And then your second line of your first verse is the Four of Wands. So happy home, sense that kind of all is right with the world. Wow. The third line is the Nine of Wands. Yeah. So I had this for another sign. I think it might have been Virgo. And she's kind of like coming to the Nine of Wands is the wounded warrior. She's kind of like coming to the door. She's been inside like her creative productivity, and she's kind of coming to the door to respond to something that would distract her, and she's like, no, we gave it the office. It's kind of like how she was coming up before, but yeah, for some reason I feel like, I don't know. Anyway, Nine of Wands, and then the Lovers, card of Gemini. Wow. Beautiful. With that star over its head there, over their heads, or its head. I think of it as like one force at this point, like the united energies are like one force. So Temperance, Four of Wands, Nine of Wands, the Lovers. So that would be Sagittarius and Gemini, the major arcanas. And then your chorus is the Castle. So the Castle, somebody had it last week. I'm not remembering who right off the bat. So the Castle is about, so if you think of a princess in a castle, right? She has everything her heart could possibly desire except the freedom to kind of leave and come and go as she pleases. So she's kind of like overprotected in material security in a way, and it kind of works against her. It's depicted as sort of an ornamented eyelid looking down at a pink rosebud. So a really limited viewpoint, like a very limited perspective as a result of being so protected. So we'll see where that goes. And then the first line of your second verse is the Three of Cups. So a sense of belonging, a sense of community and belonging. And then you have the Two of Wands. So from there you're choosing a path, you're choosing a direction. You're setting off on a direction. And then the third line of your second verse is the Judgment card. So some kind of exoneration, passing a test, completing some lessons, And then you have the Five of Cups. So crying over spilt milk, or looking back at the past after having broken through to a new level. Like after the Judgment card, like after breaking through, you look back at the past with some amount of like regret or sorrow or something like that. It's usually a temporary energy. Okay, so let's see if we can make some sense of this. At the bottom of the deck, of the main deck, you have the Three of Pentacles, and at the bottom of the clarifying deck, you have the Two of Pentacles. So some kind of juggling in a collaboration situation, something like that. So again, you come in with Temperance, then Four of Wands, then Nine of Wands, and then the Lover's card. And then your chorus is the Castle, then Three of Cups, Two of Wands, Judgment, Five of Cups. So let's start clarifying. So clarifying the start of your song, the Temperance, we have the Queen of Wands. Cardinal sign of fire, so it's the card of Aries. So to me it would indicate that with a really great influx of energy, you're very balanced. Let's see what she's holding in her hand. She's kind of got her body posture is kind of keeping to herself, you know, and she's like celebrating some kind of discovery. So I guess both could be true. You could be celebrating some kind of discovery but keeping to yourself at the same time, like keeping it to yourself. Because then you move into the Four of Wands. And the Four of Wands is the Queen of Swords. So the Queen of Swords is the card of Libra, so that's your card. So maybe this is your home. You have your back sort of up against it, as though you're like responsible for it. You know, she's very much like of this world. She's at the edge of the sea. You know, sort of outside of her emotions. She has very straight back. I always notice that, her posture. You know, she's like a guardian. She's like a guardian here, I think. And speaking of guardians, we have this Nine of Wands coming up, and then the Nine of Wands is clarifying the Moon card. So what's happening within you, right? Something is happening within you, something hidden, something you're exploring emotionally, but you're a wounded warrior against it, right? So like you have the Nine of Wands, the wounded warrior has like no diminished strength or power at all. She's just kind of like tired, but that doesn't affect her conviction or anything. So it's still like, it's like as reliable an energy in a different way. It's like as reliable an energy as the Queen of Swords is. Like in this reading, these two are like in the trenches together. These two energies, you know. So the Queen of Swords is here sort of protecting the Four of Wands as a sort of guardian. And then the Nine of Wands is protecting the internal state, the internal process. So this Nine of Wands, this sort of fiery energy is kind of internal to this Queen of Swords, you. And then this is even deeper internally. And then we have the Lover's card and the Ten of Pentacles. So the card of Gemini, the card of making a right decision, and the card of like, you know, the happy home, all is well, you know, wish fulfillment, all of your resources in order. So, like I said, this Libra, when I first started this reading, the first thing I experienced was like a complete shift into a really, really good mood. Like I wasn't in a bad mood previously, but all of a sudden I just felt like in a really good mood. Like I just kind of noticed a good mood. So you come in with being very temperate about this Queen of Wands energy. And then you've got your home that you're protecting. So basically there's a real sense of like keeping it all together here. Just keeping it all together. And then this castle card is your chorus. So we've got evidence that your right decision making is leading toward like a really successful like life, you know, in the resource area, like on Earth, like here on Earth, like all of that's probably in order, whatever that is for you, time, money, job, home, family, is in order. But there's something kind of calling to you that like that outside of all of that safety and security that you've worked so hard to create, beyond the walls of that, there might be something more or something like that. But you have this beautiful Three of Cups, which, you know, this kind of like sense of belonging and loving community or family or whatever, and you're very much aware of that. It's not like you want to do anything rash or irresponsible. Like, this is really meaningful to you. And that's clarified, but that's clarified by the temptation, the Devil card. So there's some kind of temptation. There's some kind of moment where you're tempted towards something that could potentially compromise this. And you're launching out on a path. You're making a choice, and you're making a choice to sort of get some rest. I mean, I can kind of see why you would. Like, you've been the temperance containing or balance or disciplining this wild, well, not wild, but really powerful, like, energy. And you've been the protector over this. You've been kind of keeping it all together, you know, while these stirrings occurred within you, you know. So opting for a rest makes a lot of sense to me. And then you have the Judgment card with Six of Pentacles. So maybe there needs to be some distribution of responsibilities or something for you, Libra. You know, maybe that's what you're coming up with. Like, maybe you've been taking on too much, you know? Maybe you've been taking on too much. And maybe it's not even a big deal. Like, maybe it's just a teetering, you know, because you do come in, start the reading with temperance. I came into the reading feeling like, wow, Libra's in a really good mood. The whole first verse is about you keeping it together. But there's some kind of stirring and some kind of fatigue, you know, between that Nine of Wands and the Moon card, you know, and then you go to the Castle where there's a it's like, as great as things are, couldn't there be more? And, you know, something is kind of tempting your three, like tempting you that could compromise your Three of Cups energy, and then you're like kind of faced with the choice between two life paths, and then you choose to take a rest, and the Judgment card comes in with reciprocal energy, you know. So exonerated from that previous condition by this kind of equal give and take. So what I'm wondering is if maybe what needs to happen is some kind of distribution of resources, because here you are sort of fondly looking back in a kind of Hanged Man energy, you know, at the end of the reading. Now, we already know that this is, you know, I'm pretty darn sure this has to end happy, because, like I said, I feel this kind of good mood really strongly. You have the Panther Spirit as your bridge, and that's return to your full power, or reclaim your power. Reclaim your power. So, I don't know, I think maybe you just got kind of tired, you know, like you've maybe like worked really hard to keep everything like very together, you know, and then you just overdid it maybe a little bit, and so you started to question whether or not it was so great after all. And you just need a rest and like to sort of reclaim your power. I love these piercing green eyes. Trying to see if I see them anywhere else in any of the other imagery, but I really don't. I'm sure we're going to find more out over on Vimeo. If this is where I leave you, you know, I hope this resonated with you. Leave me a comment if you like, and I hope you have an amazing week. Okay, bye.